I am the owner of Little Stitch Studio in Norfolk, Virginia, where I teach sewing and fashion design. I'm also the author of a new book, Sew Bags, The Practical Guide to Making Purses, Totes, Clutches, and More. I love sewing bags because they're a great skill builder and you can explore different techniques in a variety of fabric. They're generally easy to sew and they always fit. In my book, I have the bags laid out so that a new sewer could start at the beginning and work their way through each bag in a relatively short amount of time, building skills along the way. Once you have a basic understanding of skills and techniques, you really can personalize any bag in any way. Today I'm going to show you one way to change your bags with straps and handles. In the book, I do show a few pages on how to make straps and handles out of fabric. Today I'm going to show you that you can make some of the same ones out of leather. This first bag is the Morgan Simple First Purse, and it's a really popular project to make with kids in my classes. And they love to embellish it with felt or some kind of glittery fabric, and we applique a mermaid tail or put ears and a tail on it and a little face, that the creative possibilities are really quite endless. But it could also be changed into more of a stylish clutch or evening bag. That this one I made, that instead of sewing the strap in, I eliminated the strap and made a small tab out of leather with a tiny little D-ring. And the D-ring can also fold in when you're not using the bag if you wanted to make it a clutch. And the leather is just a thin garment weight leather, cut so it is the same width as the D-ring, and it's folded in and stitched into the seam, and then the chain strap is clipped onto it. So it makes a nice bag that you can have two out of one pattern. The second bag is the Savanna Crossbody bag. And this bag, more than any other, I think really is a good introduction to garment construction as a whole. When I teach sewing and design, I really teach from the point of view of garment construction rather than just sewing, as construction encompasses all manner of technique. And once you have some experience sewing, you'll realize that there are many ways to do one technique, and it's not a single method. So you get to be more empowered and decide what's the best way you want to finish your bag. This bag features a pleat, which a pleat could also be turned into a gather or a dart. It also has curved seams, it has lining, a magnetic clasp, a facing, interfacing, and then some simple hardware. Shown in the book, this bag has a fixed strap length. But for this one, I made a slider for the strap so that it can be adjusted to be a crossbody bag, a handbag, or a shoulder bag. Using this same bag, though, I could make another handle out of leather. And this one is leather strapping with hardware that makes it more of a handbag. Same look, or same bag, very different look. Finally, I'll show you the Heidi Contract side panel tote. In the book, it's shown like this with cotton webbing straps and a leather pocket. But the bag can also be switched and made with leather straps. Leather strapping, if it's thick, will need to be set with rivets because sewing over it plus sewing a few layers of fabric is going to be too bulky. But again, same bag, different looks. Now, to make a leather strap. Leather is quite easy to sew on a machine at home as long as you have the right equipment and setup. For this strap, though, we're not going to use a sewing machine if you don't want to. They can be made with pieces of leather. Leather is sold by weight in ounces rather than by thickness or in yards. So I sew with a lot of leather, and this one is about 3-ounce leather. And I'm making a strap handle like this one. And to do this, I cut identical pieces of leather and I'm going to glue them together. With leather, you can cut it with scissors or a rotary cutter. You get a much nicer finish when you use a rotary cutter. To make the strap, you need to determine what length you would like the handle or the strap to be. This one that I'm using for my example is 14 inches long. So I cut 4 pieces of leather, 1 inch wide and 14 inches long. And to make the strap, I'm going to apply rubber cement. Rubber cement should always be used in a well-ventilated area because it's quite strong. Also, when you're applying it, you want to let it sit and get tacky for a moment before it adheres. So I'm going to apply it to one end of the strap and then let it get kind of tacky and place the other strap on top and smooth it out. You can also use an anvil or a book or something else that has some weight to it to hold it down while it dries. Once it's dry, you can leave the edge straight, or you can use a shaping tool and shape the edge. And then you're going to need to determine the placement on your bag. For my strap, I have placed the holes to set the rivets 1/2 inch centered at the edge of each handle. That is also going to line up with my bag. In my bag, the holes that have been cut in here are 1/2 inch centered on my bag. Now, in order to punch the holes in the leather, I'm going to need a leather hole punch and my rivet. Rivets come in different sizes. The ones that I like to use are the medium size, and they have 2 pieces. They have an end cap and a piece with a stem. To measure what size hole punch I need, I'm going to take my stem and compare it to the leather hole punch and choose the size hole that matches up most closely with my stem. And then I'm going to take my strap where I marked it and hold it, use 2 hands and punch it through, and it makes a nice hole. Then to place it, I'll need to repeat that for the other end. Now that we've made the holes in the straps, we're going to learn to set them into the bag. The bag is already marked and has the holes punched through it. The bag that I'm using right now is made out of a 3mm wool felt. If I'd like to reinforce it a little bit more, I can use a leather washer like I did in the front of the bag, and that will help with strengthening for wear. Right now, I'm going to concentrate on just showing you how to set the rivet. So to set the rivet, I'm going to take the rivet with the stem in one hand and my leather strap, and I'm going to align the hole that I punched with the leather strap and the bag. And then I'm going to insert the stem of the rivet into both the bag and the strap, and then take the cap and press the cap into the stem until it snaps. Now I'm going to need to set that so that it's stronger. In order to set it, I'm going to need a cutting board or something kind of thick. You can use a cutting board that's plastic or wood, a mallet, and my anvil. All of these things can be purchased at a leather goods store such as Tandy Leather, or you can order them online. To start, I'm going to place my rivet on the cutting board, and I'm going to give it a few taps with the mallet just to have it set. And once I see that it's setting, I'm going to move my cutting board and I'm going to use my anvil. And then I'm going to give it some firmer taps until it's set. And there I have a rivet in my bag. And I could just repeat that for the next side. When you're making bags, garments, whatever you make, part of the fun is learning how to make it completely your own. The more you learn, the more opportunities you have. So I hope that next time you make a bag, you'll consider other options besides just how the pattern's written and learn to truly make it something that you love. My name is Hilarie Dayton, and I wrote Sew Bags, the practical guide to making purses, totes, clutches, and more.